Hello everyone, welcome back to SSBCrack exams. I'm Anuradha and I've brought for you a great news for the Indian Navy aspirants. The notification for the Indian Navy officers Information Technology or IT Entry 2022 notification is out now. And now you can start applying for this direct entry through which you will be selected for your SSB interview. So you don't have to sit for any written examination. It's a direct entry scheme which has been published recently by the Indian Navy. So let's look into this particular session where we are going to discuss about certain eligibility criteria and certain things you need to check before you start applying for this IT entry of Indian Navy for 2022. So first of all, let us look into what this notification about Indian Navy Information Technology entry is all about. So applications have been invited from unmarried, eligible men and women candidates for grant of Short Service Commission or SSC in Information Technology or IT entry of Indian Navy under the Special Naval Orientation Course, which will be at the Indian Naval Academy, INA, Ezhimala, Kerala. Okay, the online applications for the IT entry 2022 scheme will open on www.joinindiannavy.gov.in from 27 January to 10th February 2022, right? So it's open now, guys, and if you want to start applying for this particular entry, I would say don't waste any more time, just go and apply. Okay, so now we will look into the things about the question, the big question about who can apply for the Indian Navy IT entry 2022 course. So first of all, the candidates who have graduated or post-graduated or in the final year with minimum 60% marks in aggregate or equivalent CGPA can apply. The university for the above mentioned should be incorporated by an act of central or state legislature in India or other educational institutions established by an act of parliament or declared to be deemed as universities or autonomous universities under UGC Act 1956, IIT Act 1961, AICTE Act 1987, NITSA Act 2007, IIT Act 2014. Or you could also be a candidate who have obtained a degree in engineering with 60% marks in aggregate or equivalent CGPA system from such foreign university, college or institution. However, the university in this case should be recognized by the Government of India for the purpose of engineering degree or equivalent certificate from Association of Indian Universities established under AIU Act 1973. Now, there are certain small things also which you need to note. First of all, the candidate will be required to fulfill the educational qualifications which I am going to talk about now and which has been already stipulated before joining INA. Also, the candidate who is failing to meet the stipulated educational criteria will not be permitted to join the INA Ezhimala. However, and this is very important, all SSB recommended candidates would be required to inform about their final result of respective degree by 1st July 2022 to Indian Navy on the email ID which is provided. The email ID being officer@navy.gov.in. Okay. So these are certain criteria that you need to keep in your mind, and if you're eligible by this particular criteria, you can obviously apply. But there is also something which I need you to also go through, and that is your eligibility. This is one of the most important criteria before you start applying and registering yourself for the IT's entry for Indian Navy. So first of all, the branch or the cadre for which this entry has been published is SSC Executive Information Technology branch. Okay, the eligibility criteria is, I'm talking about the educational qualifications. A candidate must have minimum 60% marks in English in class 10 or 12 and must have qualified one of the under mentioned educational qualification with minimum 60% overall qualifying marks in either or a combination of the following. No equivalent stream of BE or BTech or other qualifications other than those mentioned below will be considered valid for selection process at any stage. So make sure that you are having a degree in the streams that I am going to mention now. MSc, BE, BTech, MTech in computer science or computer science and engineering or computer engineering or information technology or software systems or cyber security or system administration and networking or computer systems and networking or data analytics or artificial intelligence. Or you could also be an MCA with BCA or BSc in computer science or information technology. The number of vacancies from this particular entry is 50. Alright, so 50 seats are vacant for this particular entry. Both men and women can apply for IT entry, and there should also be a date of birth which you need to calculate. That is, there is something called age limit. So therefore, you should not be born before 2nd July 1997 and after 1st January 2003. That is, your date of birth should be between 2nd July 1997 and 1st January 2003, where both these dates are inclusive. Okay, so your date of birth can be also on these very dates. Now, there are certain important other eligibility criteria you need to find yourselves, and that is, due to COVID-19 pandemic, an exception is being made in the public interest wherein no INET entrance exam is being held for shortlisting candidate for SSB. Now, because of this COVID-19 pandemic which is going on, as you know, INET or Indian Naval Entrance Test was held before, but now this exam has been being put on hold, and therefore a direct entry scheme is there which you can take advantage of, obviously. And so therefore, for this particular entry, the final merit list for induction will be prepared based only on SSB marks. So now you can understand that it's a direct entry now, and there is no INET exam which is going to take place because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and only on SSB marks your final merit list will be prepared. So you can understand how important and how vital it is for your performance or to do good in your actual SSB. Right? So these vacancies, now we have already talked about 50 vacancies through this entry, right? Now these vacancies are tentative and may be changed depending on availability of training slots. So it can change later. However, there are tentatively 50 seats which are available through this entry. Now, NCC C certificate holders will be given relaxation of 5% in cutoff marks towards shortlisting for SSB, subject to meeting following criteria. So those of you who are NCC C certificate holders, you will be given a relaxation of 5% of the marks that you will score in your SSB, provided that you meet certain criteria, which now I am going to tell you. First of all, you should have an NCC C certificate of Naval, Army or Air Wing with minimum B grade. So you should have a minimum B grade in this C certificate. Second, you should not have served less than 2 academic years in the senior division. So at least you should have served in NCC 2 years in the senior division of Naval, Army or Air Wing. Third, C certificate should not be dated prior to 1st June 2019. So make sure that if you're an NCC C certificate holder, all of your certificates are dated after 1st June 2019 and not before that. If they are dated before 1st June 2019, then obviously you will not be eligible for this. Next is final selection will be subject to verification of the certificate by DG, NCC or concerned NCC unit for its validity. So your certificate should be verified by the DG of NCC or concerned NCC unit. Also, last but not the least, eligibility for NCC C certificate holders is there's a mandatory minimum educational qualification in qualifying degree at all stages, be it for SSB, training or post-commissioning, and that is 60%. So you should have a 60% of your minimum qualification in any of the educational qualification degree. Okay. Now that you know, guys, that no written exam is being taken place for the Indian Navy IT entry, and that your final merit list will be prepared majorly on the basis of the marks or your performance that you will be doing in the actual SSB, it is very important for you to know and prepare SSB interview beforehand. So if you are fretting about where to approach, how to get to know about SSB, don't worry at all, guys. We have already provided for you an SSB interview online course. So I would recommend you to get yourself enrolled into this particular course, which is a comprehensive and full-fledged package. From day 1 to day 5, you will get to know what is SSB interview, how the things are conducted there, what you should do and what you should not do. Everything step by step have been provided already inside the course. So in order to enroll to this course, you need to download our SSBCrack exams app from the Google Play Store. Not only that, guys, in this particular online course, which is the best course in the entire market, you will also get a chance to interact with our top-notch recommended tutors, where you can interact live on live classes face to face. You can practice lots of things which are important for your practice and preparation for SSB interview, and also you can clarify your doubts and queries through these classes which are held regularly on monthly basis. So please enroll to this particular course as soon as possible and start preparing for your SSB interview, because it is your SSB interview which is going to decide whether you will be selected or recommended or not. Now, we will move on to the next part of this particular session, which is the selection procedure. So it's important for you to know how the selection procedure will be conducted for this particular IT entry scheme 2022 for Indian Navy. First of all is about shortlisting of applications. How the applications will be shortlisted. So once you have applied online for this particular entry, the shortlisting of application will be based on normalized marks obtained by the candidates in the qualifying degree. So your educational qualifying degree, that holds the key to this shortlisting. Okay, so it will depend on how much marks you have scored in your degree. Okay, so the marks obtained by the candidate in the qualifying degree will be normalized using formula mentioned on www.joinindiannavy.gov.in. So there's a formula on which your marks will be calculated, and therefore in that way you can be shortlisted. So you can check out this formula which has already been mentioned in their official website. Next, for candidates who have completed or in the final year of BE BTech, your marks will be calculated on the basis of the marks you have obtained on your 5th semester. Okay. For candidates who have completed MSc, MC or MTech, your marks will be calculated based on the marks that you have obtained in all semesters. For candidates who are in the final year of these degrees, your shortlisting for SSB will be based on pre-final year performance. Right. Next is medical. Now for medical, candidates who have once been recommended by the SSB interview will now go for the medical test. So candidates are advised to ascertain applicable medical standards prior applying for the entry. For this, you can check out the official notification of the Indian Army by going into their website. Okay. SSB recommended candidates are required to undergo medical examination as applicable to the entry. So after recommended in the SSB, you have to go for the medical test. Once you are done with the medical test, then your name will be there in the final merit list and you'll get the joining letter. Now there is a tenure of commission also for this particular entry. Selected candidates will be granted short service commission initially for 10 years, which can be later extended to a maximum of 4 years in 2 terms. That is, for every year or in 2 years, 2 years you will be extended, subject to service requirement, performance, medical eligibility and willingness of candidates. So these criteria will be kept in mind while extending your service for another maximum 4 years after this 10 years of tenure. Now, moving on to the training and probation period for Indian Navy IT Entry 2022 course, candidates will be inducted in the rank of sub-lieutenant. So this is the rank that you will get once you are into this particular entry, once you are into the Indian Navy Officers IT. Okay, selected candidates will undergo 4 weeks of Naval Orientation Course at the Naval Academy, Ezhimala. Then it will be followed by a professional training at naval ships and training establishments as per extant regulation. Only unmarried candidates are eligible for training. Okay. Another thing is for probation period for SSC IT officers is 2 years. So this is the probation period for this particular entry, 2 years. The probation period will commence from the date of grant of the rank of sub-lieutenant and will end after 2 years or on completion of the initial training, which one will be later. So if your initial training is completed after 2 years, okay, so if your initial training is completed in 2 years, you will be obviously your probation period is over. Or if your training has been completed before 2 years, however, you have to wait till it is completed, okay, till you get the 2 years. Now, the last but not the least is the most important question is how to apply for this particular Indian Navy Officers IT Entry 2022 course. So first of all, you need to remember that the application for this entry is to be made only on online. Okay. Secondly, to do so, you need to click on the online application option that will come after you have gone into the website, which is their official website, and that is www.joinindiannavy.gov.in. And there are certain dates also which you need to keep in your mind while applying. That is, the Indian Navy SSC IT application start date was 27th of January 2022. And the end date, the closing date for this particular entry is 10th February 2022. So 10th February is just knocking at our door, right? So I would suggest all of you people who want to be the next Indian Navy officers, please get yourself registered and start filling up the online application form by visiting the official website of the Indian Navy. Just after you have online applied for this particular entry, I would suggest you to take our online SSB interview course, because you know that the final merit list will be prepared based on the marks that you will score in your SSB interview. So it's a direct entry and you have to give your very best in the particular SSB interview. For that, you need a very solid, rock solid performance and a rock solid preparation. And we SSBCrack exams can only give you that much help, that much guidance for you to be recommended in the SSB interview. So please download our app from the Google Play Store, get yourself enrolled into SSB interview online course and follow all the important lectures and study materials provided, as well as the practice sets for SSB interview. You can also join our live interactive classes, which are held regularly and on monthly basis. So you can check out all the important courses, all the important sections like the screening test, the psych test, the GTO, conference, and so on. And last but not the least, if you're preparing for any other defense related exams, then you can obviously check out all the different courses that we have provided for all defense examination inside our course itself. So please download our SSBCrack exams app today, and the link of this app is given in the description box. So you can also go there, click on the link and download the app and start enrolling for the SSB interview online course for your particular Indian Navy Officers IT Entry 2022 course. For other courses also, you can start getting yourself enrolled by using the code Warrior10 to get an extra 10% off. And this discount is applicable for all courses. So that was it from my side today. I hope that this session has been quite helpful and informative for you. I will see you next with something more helpful for your upcoming defense exams and SSB interview. Till then, stay tuned to SSBCrack exams and always stay positive and motivated. Jai Hind.